Just something new I'm seeing in a lot of these uh, with the PTU patches lately. People are literally just taking all their stuff and just throwing it on the ground, basically. I'm not quite sure why. Um, I mean, you can see like there's a lot of really interesting stuff here. You can't store it. It says storing is unavailable. So I'm pretty sure you could pick this up, and in theory, then you could do something with it. But I don't think you can global inventory store this at this location. You'd have to walk it all the way back to your ship, or yeah. Anyway, really rare off the wall stuff. Like there's even a top hat down this end. This person dropped. I didn't even see them do it. I was in here picking up all sorts of medical supplies for one of my shoots, and I found this. And I've seen a smaller thing like this before, like a gun laying on the ground that maybe a box or two. I've never seen it like this, where somebody took like their entire inventory and just dropped it on the ground. Like they must have been just, I guess, standing at the end of this and just drop out of their personal inventory. That's the only thing I can think of. Is they were just taking every single thing out of their global and just dropping it on the ground, or should I say local inventory nowadays. So I'm in New Babbage, Brentworth Care. But you can access your local New Babbage inventory, even though it says Brentworth at the top at the moment. Here. Anyway, it's a good physics test. The boxes are not causing any trouble. And there's a gun over here. Looks like my quick flares keep getting in the way when I try to pick it up. But yeah, it's here. I don't know why they're not in a box like that. I assume they're modeled. I know this is a placeholder. These are meant to denote the types of, you can see an undersuit symbol. You can see that some of these are just mainly t-shirts and clothing and such. A top hat. Has a little hat box. But yeah, this is something new that I'm seeing. This is the biggest drop I've ever seen, so it's a little interesting. So, status update. Trolley does not like the boxes. Let's see what the medical diagnostic cart does. Look at those tiny little wheels. Traditionally, the smaller the wheel, the more dangerous it is. Oh man. I am not steering this weird. It's just the way this cart is. It has a ton of... I don't know, is this understeer? I guess that you could call it. Okay, physics test 2 underway. For science! Oh god! Trolleys are still a death sentence in the latest PTU. This is Wednesday night. And yeah, I just woke up in Brentworth Care after it looks like I took a left leg injury. Tier 1 treatment required. Instant death, severe impact, falling impact, most likely. I have no idea what this one does. I just want to see how this system gives you a drug. So this is how. Wow, that's really quick. This is how the treatment happens. Live yeast thing. Okay. Alrighty. And I'm sure this is what you all were looking for. Did I keep my stuff? Or did it just add to the pile of random crap in the front wall there? And where is it? Nope, I did not keep my stuff. I better run down there. Maybe that could be an in-game event. Everybody rides the trolleys over the pile of stuff, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and then there's like a monster mash of people just grabbing random stuff. Like a Hunger Games style event you could have. Everybody grabs random stuff out of the pile of options. An opportunity, you know. And whatever you grabbed, gear-wise, weapons, tools, armor, you're flown to the outskirts of New Babbage, and there's like a Thunderdome. Everybody's got random gear on. It's all sorts of weird in it now. Maybe even in the future, there's like trolleys with people with ballistic plates welded to them. Oh goodness. Also, the body is gone. Let's see. So storing is unavailable. Equipping is not possible either. I don't think it thinks it's a t-shirt. As far as I can tell. So while it's in my hands, is that how I turn it into a shirt? Okay. Alright, I'm getting it. So I have to sit there and go F grab, F grab, F grab for each one of these. How about this? Second Tavaran War jacket. Let's grab it. Okay. F. Right click. Personal inventory. I'm gonna throw this into my personal inventory, and then that basically becomes the localized inventory because I'm in a major location. I know they say they don't want bags of holding, but until something else is available, this seems to be the way to go. I don't want to put that on until I find some pants. So let's find some pants first. Oh. Whenever I do silly stuff like this, I think of Red Letter Media is one of my favorite YouTube channels, and I just rewatched a lot of their parody stuff of the nerd. It's called the Nerd Crew, where they're making fun of Collider and the rest of those crews. They talk about Star Wars and Star Trek and whatever else, all the sci-fi nerd stuff. And I was just thinking of Rich Evans looking at the microphone, speaking into his microphone, going, "What quality?" And I'm just thinking, this is the best content I can make, apparently, at the moment. But this is what I set out to like work with inventory tonight, and I thought like this is the type of stuff that like is actually important. Earlier, I went over to one of the places that's near and dear to me. Went to Jumptown. This was my second trip out there on the live server. As a reminder, be sure to stop into Jumptown and go inside the building. Don't take anything expensive. And it is 3.14 still, so 3.14.1. So basically, you're not going to lose like your armor, but you would lose a gun. So make sure it's a cheap gun and have some fun. You might end up in a shootout. Bring some friends if you really want to have some fun and put it at Cuddy Red. Save respawn out front. Uh, or Carrick if you're really blinging. Do note that Carrick has a bit of a travel time to get out there, but yeah. I wanted to put the pants on first, but it wouldn't let me. It literally had the thing blocking it. So I wish that was not what the case was. I wish the pants just went on, but they don't. For whatever reason, you got to take the hospital gown off first. Let's throw these on. At least I have something on. Or not. It won't let me. Is it because I'm stepping on the box? Is that literally the problem? It's now saying, oh, you're stepping on a box. You can't put pants on. The very boxes that killed me. Let's see. No, it just won't let me put the pants on, apparently. There's the hospital gown. At least I can wear that until, at least I thought I could. Not. Here, just throw that on the ground. It seems to be the custom of this area. Okay, never mind. Where did the pants go? But yeah, when I started making content, I knew I'd be talking about ships and things like that. I did not realize that I'd be talking about inventory and a lot of the nuances of these features that are in the game. And it's an important feature. I mean, if this is a major change, and it's completely changing how people face the game, uh, but it's just unexpected sometimes where the story goes. Um, cool, a jacket. Okay, let's grab that. Oh, that's right. It won't let me store it there for whatever reason. It says storing is unavailable, so if I gotta throw it in through this. And then if I don't equip it on the one try I get, it disappears from the face of the earth, or the localized inventory is not updating fast enough. That could also be what's happening here. Why can I not put this stuff on? It's acting like I have an undersuit on. Like that's what it looks like when you're wearing an undersuit and you try to put a clothing on. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to... Oh, I can equip undersuits? Like from the fly? Okay. Let's try that. That's kind of like one of I'm just trying to get this to work. The clothing is clearly not functional at the moment. It's not exactly the most... here we go. At least I got something on now. There we go. Beacon undersuit. Okay. So I want something to function. And... how about this top hat? I think I already have one, but... oh. There's the I picked that suit up and put it in my inventory, but now it's flung over here. Huh. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to put this hat on. So, let's take a look how the inventory system handles two of the same item. So, if you look at my inventory right now, here's my hat. Now let's see if I can throw this in, the hopper here. And does this go to ×2, or is it on its own? Where does it go? Here it goes. So here it is. So this is the one I collected off the ground. Will it let me equip this? No. It's like it's glitched out or something. Like, there's no points on this suit that allow me to mount things. Lets me mount my shotgun at least, so I guess that's it. I guess that's the game's way of saying that's all you're gonna get right now. Sorry for the mess, CIG. But the changes right now that we've seen are getting interesting. If you, they have enabled 30, this is still a glitch. I hate that glitch. But they've enabled 30K's protection. So if I was to say die out in the middle of space, every few minutes they're taking the equivalent of a quick save of your character, of your ship, of your resources and cargo on the ship. And from what I'm hearing from folks, it is working. So if, say, you 30K and you don't have your stuff anymore, you can restore onto that heartbeat, the last known heartbeat. It's the last quick save you just had. And CIG Bayor last said that it was every few minutes. And on Friday, we had Rich on SC Live saying that they didn't want to do too many quick saves where it bring the server to its knees. So I'm thinking that they're not going to get anywhere past every few minutes, which, as he mentioned, it can create a problem where if you say buy a bunch of cargo, I think it was Jared also pointed this out. If you buy a bunch of cargo, say 70K of Laranite or something, and you go to haul it, and then you instantly die right after that, you would not have that protection. You would have this server restore would be right before you purchased it, if I'm following that correctly. So you have to be real careful, like when and where the don't just trust that it will always save you, but it is a major improvement over no chance whatsoever of saving you. And they also detailed insurance. If you missed my recap of this, the gist is insurance is complicated in real life. In the game, it's going to be complicated as well. So they're trying to prevent, say, item duping or giving something to your friends and then making another one, and then you claiming it as a loss, so you can just keep making infinite ships or items, etc. So that's all part of this larger restoration. How they're going to handle getting you back to whole again is going to be difficult, to say the least. But at least for server-based issues, they're trying to plug that gap. Also, last time I played, I did a gameplay mode. People pointed out I didn't know where this was, the surface entrance area. So people pointed out that I didn't know where this surface entrance is. So I'm gonna just break out a Grey Cat PTV. Just anything at all. But if you go in here, I went down here and I was surprised. It basically puts you out front of the spaceport. And it's quite a long little drive area. Like each one has their own little thing. It's like a bigger version of what the Commons has for ground-based units. And I was quite surprised at the size and scale of it. I also thought it was really cool how they had the spawn area above the location, like you just saw, and then also below the location, like when you first enter. So you could, just like in the Commons, you could request access and drive in. It's a bigger, big facility. Like, I mean, it's shockingly big. But I did this earlier for the first time off camera, and I was quite surprised. And it is viable. So even though it's a big space and everything, you could drive vehicles down. Sorry, it's old. You could drive vehicles down and go out front and meet this vehicle out here, especially if you have a friend who's flying. Or if you don't have a friend who's flying and you're driving through the ground like I just did, this must be some of the biome issues they talked about previously. But anyway, if you just simply hop out, actually, there's an obstruction right there. Let's play that to our advantage here, and let's go off to the side. So, if I don't crash the vehicle too bad and blow it up, basically I'll know that it's to the facing left of where I'm flying out of, if I'm facing Okay, here we go. Here's a 30. Here's a code 330K right here. While I lost connection to the server, so let's see what it does. I think this is my second 30K this patch. Okay. Primary residence, New Babbage. Current location, New Babbage. Enter Star Citizen Universe. There's no mention whatsoever of 30K. No special button. No nothing. It must be a bad token. So bear with me. I'm going to try restarting the game. Okay, so we're back in. New Babbage, New Babbage. No mention of any type of, hey, click this. Nothing at all. Loading in. I think it was a bad token that caused the 30K. It didn't have any message saying that, but a lot of times it will say bad token exclamation point in the past. And that's your cue that you have to basically restart the game yourself. It may not crash the desktop, but it might as well be a crashed desktop because you have to restart the game. So, when you're in a party in the past, at least it gave you that prompting of, hey, do you want to rejoin your party mates? And then you would click, yeah, sure. And if it wasn't a full server, it would take you over there. And sometimes you had to wait until it wasn't a full server anymore. Now, I've talked before about having a soft cap that's smaller than the hard cap. So if we're sticking to, let's say, 50 players, there should be, say, 2 slots above 50 players just sitting there for that type of situation. Party mates that want to join on each other, people that crashed, want to rejoin their party. And then the idea is that the cap of the server, we continue to stay above that. Let's say 51 out of 50. And then as people disconnect, the number goes to 50, the number goes to 49, and then it's continuing back to 50. So public-facing folks that are not in a party can start rejoining again as new players over time. So, like, that would be a good way to handle this. When I think of 32-player and 64 players in Battlefield, the old Battlefield games, there would often be, like, 60 and then a parenthesis of 4 that would be like guaranteed slots for people that were members of the clan or the group that ran the server. But I see this more as the opposite way. This is one of the newer things. Inside the ships, you can play with these teddy bears, as I understand it, but here you can't. So let's see what's going on here. I don't have a bunch of stuff restoring. I was just sitting in a Grey Cat PTV, though. And let's see, can I finally put armor back on? Hey, there's my... No, that's the Odyssey suit. Let's just try to put some pants on. There we go. Hey! Yay! Oh my goodness. So there is the inventory system for you at the moment. Hey, it remembered that. So this is something I picked up off the ground that it remembered. It is back in the inventory system. It saved it. There's the extra hat. And a bunch of my troll stuff. There's my other hat, for example, just to confirm it was the hat. That's not the Atlason. So, to recap, the stuff I died in, I did not get back, and I could not recover off the ground inside Brentworth Care. I'm assuming that the trolley incident caused it to fall through the floor. However, the gear that I picked up off the ground at Brentworth Care is still in my, is at least some of it's in my inventory, which I don't understand either, but it's there. After a 30K, when I was driving around in the Gray Cat PTV, yeah, all the stuff I went and I was picking up off the ground is here. So this is pretty interesting. I got mixed feelings at this millisecond. I've got mixed feelings. This is a pretty respectable weapon. This. Oh, that's right. It's clothes, not armor. I've been saying forever that they need to add holsters and belts for these. It is crazy that this is not a holster right here. Like even if it's like an in waistband, outer waistband, whatever. And I was actually, I think a few years ago I put up something on the forums about that, saying there should be two different kinds. Like outer waistband would be to show it off and like a mark of pride a bounty hunter might have, or like a constable, what do they call? The advocacy may have, etc. when they're working in an office. And then inside waistband would be like a citizen or somebody who is a smuggler or something like that who's trying to be more low key, but it would have a slower draw speed than the outside the holster, outside the waistband holster. So the weapon would, let's just pick this Nerf gun. That's more cool. The Nerf gun would be outside for say a bounty hunter or somebody who wanted faster draw speed, but people would notice it. Whereas inside the waistband would go inside the belt, inside the pant trouser, but for obvious reasons, it would make it more difficult to access the Nerf gun in a timely manner when needed. So there's a sacrifice there, and I like trade-offs like that. I like decisions that players have to make for themselves to decide what's important for them. The speed, but high profile, or the low profile, but at that cost. So I could see like utility belts and service belts becoming an important thing. In real life, they have service belts that are pretty much, they're usually thicker. They're usually a wider belt as well. And they're meant to handle the weight of having a few different pieces of equipment, say a radio, say a Nerf gun, or other kind, and also extra items for those things. And even just plain and simple, very interesting things like medical things, like a tourniquet or something else, like an emergency medical device would be useful on here too. I could even see people choosing to have a multi-tool that is just being put on your belt, on that service belt or that utility belt. Maybe you could even make that so utility belts cannot field normal weapons, but service belts cannot field multi-tools. You could do things like that. So I think there's the future for that. I think there should be chest rigs too, and there already are, but they're not quite doing what I'd like to see them do. But so that's a topic for another day. But this was a little preview into my play session tonight on inventory and 30Ks that are not exactly assailed. This is the first one I've seen that's this bad though, where it remembered stuff I picked up, but from the first death, it didn't bring that stuff back. And, well, to be fair, the Gray Cat had no, it has no cargo area, but I don't see any provision for that Gray Cat yet. So it's interesting though. Also, one of the other things to remember is if something is a crash to menu, and then you can't rejoin, it might as well just be a crash to desktop. So that's pretty bad. This is the PTU. This is the latest patch on the PTU. We're dealing with. We're starting to get into the deeper parts of 3.15 PTU where things are starting to get more solidified. I'm seeing more stability. I'm seeing. Sorry about the chat. I don't ever. I think I've said before many times. I don't validate or check the chat. If anything's on there, it shouldn't be. I apologize. But the servers are pretty stable. I think that the community is getting to the point where they're starting to feel the edges of their boundaries now. And translation, I don't see much longer that they're going to need to keep it in PTU. We've already got Wave 2, which means a larger group of people. I believe it's all concierge, all subscribers, people that have been in the at least partially active in um the issue council, submitting issues and upvoting things and such, being active in any way there, are pretty much the people here now. And then when Wave 3 hits, it's highly likely that'll be all backers, or at the very least, almost every single backer you can think of, which is good. I think we're almost there. This we're starting to see patches that are they're getting close. So when I look at the patch notes right now of the of 3.15.0 that I'm playing, I think of the initial spawn point issues with the ground vehicles. I think that's kind of a moot issue. Right now, I mean, this is the type of stuff I'm concerned about. This, which New Babbage Commons is having serious problems with. Why are both doors open, and why is it like gonna make me fall into space? Like this right here. This is far more important to me. I had a problem with New Babbage Commons on the last patch, and I just went there now because I was hoping it was fixed. Where when you walked along the commons, you could get in there via the trains, but once you got in... Wait a minute.
The capsule will be leaving the station momentarily.
Wait a minute, what? That's the commons?
Careful, doors are now closing.
I don't want to go to the spaceport. I'm very confused. Very confused by this whole thing. Did it open the doors of the Tobin Expo Center? Okay. I'm going to start heading back to the Aspire Grand just for a second here. But anyway, the commons, when you walked along them, you fell into the ground. And you didn't fall to your death, but you were walking around outside all of a sudden. It was like towards where the nightclub area is, in the middle of that main hall on the north. I think it's the northern end of the commons, from the middle of the commons, like the central part of the commons. So most of the stores were still accessible, but it was pretty surprising. And I think I had like a 5-minute life expectancy just wearing a t-shirt. So it pays to have a shirt on or something on. Oh my god, this is the Tobin Expo Center. It's gotta be the Tobin Expo Center. Alright, I gotta do this for science. That's gotta be the Tobin Expo Center. Why would they have the trains opening doors there? Are they gonna hold IAE at Tobin Expo? So, the Tobin Expo Center is in line between the Commons and Aspire Grand. And where did it put me at? Brentworth Care. Okay. I'm starting to become very familiar. They're like, you're frequent flyer miles. You'll be able to afford a ride on a first class ride on a Genesis Starliner. You keep coming to us, at this point. But wow. Okay. So So there was some theories about the Expo Center going to be at the brand new landing pads at Orison. And I was one of the people who suggested, if Orison is getting its haul in Orison V2, which is coming up very soon, it's like a sales ship haul, which would have some Hercules in it, MSR. If they ever have the Star Bomber or some other rumors that we've heard, if that ever comes out, that would be all there. And I naturally thought, oh, they'll just make it a little bigger than usual. They have enough pads to speak of. They have tons of space there. They have, and also all those blocks between the Orizin's uh, um, platforms. Those are elevator tubes. They're like utilities slash elevators. That's how you get around. If you're at the spaceport, Augusta Dunlow spaceport, at Origin, you actually go through those tubes to get to your pad. So when you go get your food or whatever else, to get to your hangar, most of the time you actually leave the building through those tubes through the sky that connect the little pads. Sorry, I keep calling them the platforms. And Augusta Dunlow is like a pile of platforms. So I'm very curious why they would be having in a late 3.15 PTU patch, uh, under a month from just under 3 weeks from annual ship sale and an IAE Expo that goes along with it in game. Why the heck they would have the tram stopping at the Tobin Expo Center here on New Babbage? This is just an instinct of mine, but it could just be a blatant glitch. But it's entirely plausible that Tobin Expo is where they're going to be holding it. This is a very nice establishment. It has the color scheme that kind of fits what the very samples that CIG showed off at the CitizenCon this year, Digital CitizenCon. They showed like a whole array of like 20 different options, and all the colors were like could be Origin, but look at these colors. It could also be New Babbage colors. Usually the IAE has like a treatment that kind of gives the vibe of the location. Like when it was Area 18, it had like the oranges and it kind of had like a vibe to it. At least for the one year, if I remember right. But they try to give it like the vibe of the location a little bit. And New Babbage is it kind of fits also the Explorer design because it's off on its own. Like when you think about the when you think about the Stanton, Microtech and New Babbage that's on it, it's like the farthest reaches. Farthest reaches. It's like 50. It could be 50,000 plus, 50,000 million kilometers away. Like if I go to, I can't set a desto to Port Olisar right now, but if you did, in the smallest of smallest ships, you'd have a hard time getting here in one go. You'd have to like hit, I would hit like L5, get refueled, and then keep going. But I mean, it kind of fits that vibe if you're trying to push explorer ships and you're trying to push that the limits. Like the idea is that we're setting up for pyro, we're setting up for the outer belt, we're setting up for these locations that are worth exploring and outside of your comfort zone. And it's still breathable oxygen here, just like every other planetary landing location. So, I mean, Lorville's up for debate, but technically it is breathable air. And this might be freezing air, but it's still breathable. So it is hospitable enough to have, big ship parties outside that people tend to do. You can rent the ships for free at the annual sale. If this is your first annual sale, you can rent the ships for free. You can pick up any ship in the area, and every single day is a different manufacturer. And then at the end, there's like this combo sale that has a variety of different ships all at once. So the biggest days are going to be the F5 War, if you've heard that term. That's for the refresh of a browser for the big capital ships. And if you're interested in that, I'm going to be doing some more videos very soon that cover a few more topics, especially capitals. So, so you want to buy a capital, the usual, because there can't be said enough. Please don't just view my content, view anybody else that you can see that gives you honest assessments of the ships you're looking at and can give you some pointers on what you're looking for, and you make your own decisions. I've been pushing for a while now that think more of an org-based mentality. You don't need to buy every single ship. Just make sure at least your friends do. So each of you can kind of do something and brunt the load together, and you're much more powerful that way. And it kind of allows you to kind of pick things. And it also allows you to avoid the awkward conversation down the road of, hey, this ship just came out. Oh, we all have the same ship and we have nothing else. We only have a couple other, ships instead of that one ship. So you don't want to end up with like 6 Polarises and nothing to put in them. And the only thing you can respond to is anything that can take a size 10 torp. That's an uncomfortable discussion to be having. And, stuck into one style of play, even if it is a versatile ship, to be fair. But you don't need a whole pile of them. So, yeah, that's kind of where my head's at with the capitals, and that's the inevitable discussion with annual ship sale. And the other thing is, don't forget the CCU game. Your budget may be close to nothing, and that's fine, especially if you've already purchased things in the past. This has gotta be Tobin. It's gotta be. I'm still wearing the thing.
Careful, doors are now closing.
Why did they add the Tobin stop back in?
Nearing next stop.
Damn. I was trying to see if I could, like, kind of... There's no way. There's no way to, like, edge up. I'm going to have to go over there in a ship, I think, in another playthrough and kind of check it out and see if there's any changes to it. There's these giant holograms they put above it for the IAE and everything, and for Fleet Week if it hosts that or something. So if I see any hints at all on there, it'd be cool. And we'll know the exact location of the IAE and by extension Fleet Week or whatever other event you're checking out. Due to, let me show you where I had that issue. But you'll know where they are because they'll turn around and they'll have these events where the lobby is opened. So the next step, wherever it is, will be the lobby to be available in the PTU for testing right beforehand. So the idea is that they iron out any of the bugs, but the elevators will not actually take you to the showroom floor. So that's kind of where it is. I'll tell you this much. All this dying kind of really changes my perspective on running around without any gear. But let's see if I can go buy something cool. Also, I really wish you could buy a higher level of treatment that allows you to, like, leave there dressed in something different than, well, this. Like, just a basic freaking pair of jeans and a shirt would go really, really nice. Like, because dang well that Okay, so right here was where everybody fell through. And when it happened, all the NPCs were actually missing. That was the only warning I had. So I walked forward, and this whole area, this sky bridge, was in the ground. And all the NPCs were awkwardly standing in the ground. And this was just last patch. So I'm glad to see they fixed that, or maybe it was just my server. I don't know. I didn't see it again, but I haven't been back here since. Especially, you get that mentality of, hey, it's broken. Why would I bother staying? So here's the nightclub. Oh, they said the bartender works now. All the things my character's been through, I think he's earned a drink.
Looks like someone could use a drink.
Yeah. I swear I didn't script that. Okay.
Sure thing, boss.
Now, it's kind of a challenging thing. It's not like he's just pulling a beer off the wall. He's making a whiskey cola. So, okay. On the rocks, apparently. There's the whiskey, and where's the soda? There's the... Wait, there's no tube. There's no tube on the soda machine. Still, that is cool. Okay. I'm nitpicking at this point. Oh my god, this is the first time I've gotten a drink off of one of these fellas in a long time. Very cool. Okay. Let's kind of slower walk a little bit. So if you've been living under a rock or haven't been watching any of the CIG stuff, drunk physics is a thing now. So if I drink too much whiskey, colas, or beers or whatever, things will get worse for me. But luckily, I have no intentions of flying, so I think we're all safe. And we're gonna pick out something for this character, and then I think I'm gonna call it. This is gonna be a really short one. So I guess my clickbait will be the potential hint that the IAE might be in New Babbage, which is one of like the only 2 targets I can think of, due to the modern facilities it has, the color scheme, and then the tram is like kind of the thing that really sets my radar off. That they're re-enabling the load station, but then they took it out of the game files or whatever they did to not allow my character to be able to actually walk out into it. But nevertheless, it's there. So, okay, so if I place it here, place. Why would I want to put it on the wall? Well, props for that. I placed it on the wall and it fell down the wall. Okay. So let's test that. So I purchased that and I forgot what color it was. Let's buy that. Now, notice I've been told a couple times now. I have now learned what this icon means. Please, please chat with me. I love chatting with people, but don't chat with me just to let me know it's a micro SCU. This means 1 micron SCU, and this says the 1K micro SCU, which is not too much, but it's impressive considering it's just a suit jacket with some pockets. I think that's for balance reasons. Like when you see 14, 15K micro SCUs or 30K micro SCUs in the backpack or something, that's what that letter means. It's a micro SCU. It's a modern storage unit, but it's like it's a micro version. It's like 100th of an SCU. So yes, I am learning. I promise. But yeah. It's something that it's taken me a while to come around to, and I think that's why I'm doing inventory stuff so slow. Not just because it's kind of this type of stuff. It's kind of free learning, you know, wandering around and learning things. But it's also a little challenging to cover. It's something that's nebulous. It's changing every few patches. Alrighty. What is that? My character, like, went to look at their Moby glass or something first. Okay, there's the indication of how much, I think it's blood alcohol, I don't know. So, I mean, the good news is that's just really low. But I don't remember seeing that icon when I had the whiskey and Coke. Either that was some really crappy whiskey or there wasn't much in it. So this is clearly a Spaniard's drink. When I was younger in Spain, they said that they would leave a small amount of beer at the bottom, any kind of drink they were drinking, to show they could afford more. It was like a bravado thing. Can I talk to random NPCs now? It's probably for the best, honestly, because it would really freak me out if they started talking to me. I didn't know what to do. But yeah. Hello, hello. Nope, nope, nope. Hey, do you have peanuts? Give me some of that. It's gonna blow my mind, I think, when AI is actually usable, where you can like sit down with a random AI and they like get mad at you, or they start trying to talk to you and ask you what you do. I hope it gets to that point where literally this person's like freaked out or thinks it's cool that like you just start randomly wandering up and chatting with them. It'd be really cool to also see if like they had like gang affiliations on their shoulder or something, or they were once again advocacy or with a trade union or something. And because of what you wear, if you're wearing the same gear, they're chill with you. Like, oh yeah, you can come drink with me, or no, get the hell away from me. What the hell's wrong with you? But I think that would be really cool. I also find it weird how some of the NPCs. Yes! Yes, this fella's chicken dancing. Hell yeah. That's gotta be an Easter egg. I was just about to point out that this fella is not wearing a... he's not wearing any logo whatsoever on his hat, which doesn't make any like a sense to me. I've never seen a hat before that has no logo. It's very uncommon. It's very uncommon for somebody to wear a baseball cap with no logo whatsoever. Like a local sports team or maybe a ship manufacturer or something. Although, I gotta admit, every time he sits back down and looks at me, I feel like a lot of work went into this NPC. It's almost like I'm staring at one of the developers or something. He's just chicken dancing away. It's a good dude. Notice the RSI shirt on her, and she's wearing the trendy shirt from that store that's right across there. It's up there somewhere, past the chicken dance guy. One of the local companies. Like, that's examples of those things. I know one of the things they were trying to push was putting more of this stuff up, so an NPC could be randomly procedurally generated, and it would make sense they're wearing what they're wearing. Like trends and fashions that would be from like a desert planet that wouldn't make any sense here, and vice versa, you wouldn't see. So if somebody wouldn't be wearing like a tank top here, it's a very cold environment. It's a very harsh environment. People would be wearing more long sleeve shirts, sweaters, even jackets are acceptable form of fashion. Or on a desert planet, you wouldn't expect to see somebody sitting down for a beer with a sweater, on. I see this as a microcosm of where AI is right now. It's very, very basic. You've got the chicken dance guy, you've got procedural generated people starting to appear. I think they are, where they start having these different names and companies and exotic stuff, and also things that are local here. And this guy just gave me a thumbs up, I'm pretty sure. He took a knee to play with his movie glass. I think he was taking a selfie. I'm pretty sure this guy just took a selfie. He's got so much dramatic looks. It looks like he's in like a movie where like he's being hunted or something in a horror movie, or he's been like in the movie, like a wanted movie, but the sheriff's trying to find him or something. But that one where he took a knee and gave a thumbs up with the movie glass out. Pretty sure that's what that was. See, I don't have the luxury of what hey, you're not supposed to be doing that. Buddy, you're not supposed to be standing on the chair. I'm trying to compliment your AI work. I'm trying to compliment the NPCs, and you're standing on a chair again. It's like that one NPC I found that was defiant. Like he was just rocking that, he was rocking that standing on the chair. He was like the only one on the station. There he is. There's our one guy. I don't know. These are cool. I could see coming here with a few friends or org mates or something and unwinding a little bit. Especially if somebody's going shopping. Like, I mean, I wouldn't come out of my way to show up here unless there was a meetup where, like, I knew there was a bunch of people here, Spectrum or something, or org forum or Discord. Everybody's like, hey, let's meet up here. Cool, I get it, but I wouldn't come here just for the sake of coming here, unless I was doing something like a mission. And that's one of the things that this place is really missing. It has a lot of stores, which is cool. So if your friends are trying to go shopping or something and get geared up, and you're already geared up, you can come here and hang out in the bar. And I'm glad to see it. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, wonder when the day that's gonna be. Fancy restaurant like this. I know they said that there's going to be different levels of food, so they want to have like that Whammers over there or something's going to be like the lowest, kind of like low tier, same as like torpedo burritos, and then you're going to have like a mid tier, and then that's like obviously like super high tier stuff, clearly. And then this is like a high tier clothing store where you go into another store and there's like t-shirts all over the place. And always remember with these stores, there's always going to be kiosks. Well, most of them do have kiosks. I see you again as well. Where is your kiosk? Really? You're going to be like the one store that doesn't have a kiosk? Killing me.
Welcome back.
But anyway, most of them have kiosks where you can like pop open and you get a surprising amount of extra stuff all over the place. Especially at the smaller places, which makes sense. There's only so much real estate you got inside a store, and there's plenty of different things. Every single thing has to be male and female fit. So that's a lot of inventory. Colors, pathways, types of shoes. I mean, things get complicated. And it already is where you can't see the extra inventory, thank goodness. You don't see like piles of boxes all over the wall. Like, I hope it never gets to that level. Here's an area that, oh, they've added seats. It's cool. I can feel like I'm in college again. A beanbag chair. They have not added any animations here. No animations here. So, if... they added seating animations here. You gonna chicken dance? No? Sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. Oh, okay. Have a good day. You gonna chicken dance? No? No chicken dance? Okay. Just asking. But, I think this place is going to get a lot more action if it turns out to be indeed where IAE is this year. Holy goodness. And that means it's going to have more scrutiny. There's a player, if I've ever seen one. Oh, that might not be a player. Let's just be weird pathing on the AI and... oh, okay. Alright. So here's another example of like a little higher end, you know,
Welcome to the store.
nice veggie place. Ooh, they got coffee here. Okay, buddy, let's test you out. Can you give me coffee?
We've just received some exciting new products. Have a look.
But I want coffee. Nice espresso. Right. Give me some dark Americano. Hey. Huh. Just being tall coffee here. Come on. Oh well. Anyway, the Commons is a pretty big place. If you have like a full server running around this place, it's not that bad. It's pretty cool.
Hi there. How can I assist you today?
This is the same type of AI as the spaceport gets. She's also at the spaceport.
Mobile risk computational unit that is completely made out of helium.
Moby gas.
Can I help you with anything else? All right.
Is he supposed to be working on her?
I hope you enjoy the rest of your visit.
No, I thought he had like a tablet in his hand. I thought he was like a technician. So here's the beacon suit, the white beacon undersuit. Here's the stone skin undersuit. I did not know this was an option. It's a pretty cool stealthy looking suit for cheap. 1,000 AUC is nothing. I mean, they have like, so they have black mech flex. Huh. They don't have, they only have the black mech flex arms for just the arms. Unless the color's just off in this sample. Legs. They said, CIG has said multiple times now that this damage reduction is eventually going to be either for environmental versus like ballistic and combat and such. It's going to be two different things. However, for now, it is not the case that it's split up. So, do what you gotta do for now. Nice assortment of mining modules. This is what I was talking about before with the Taurus, with like a shielded storage area. And I hope more ships eventually get that. That once we figure out what the hell the shielded storage is gonna do, these items are very small, but they can be very expensive. So a couple SCU that is not scannable by, say, players or NPCs that are pirates or just trying to feel out what you're doing, it would be very valuable. I could see a Taurus rocking 2 ROCs, for example, and then having additional modules and such for the operations of mining, being pretty practical and useful. Or, you know, supporting a larger mining operations with like Ursa rovers, and then also have those attachments for like future outpost work and such. Here's the tractor beam, always good to have. Heck, you know what, I'm going to buy like 3 of them. I've been saying this before, like the multi-tool is not outclassed by the tier 2 better versions, because look how cheap they are. And I love the fact you can change on a fly what you're doing with these things. Like you can have on the same tool a mining attachment for hand mining and also a tractor beam attachment and a medical attachment if you go to the other location at Brentworth. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to beat. Quite a lot out of a kiosk because Shubin isn't open yet. This cool little lounge for Shubin Interstellar, I guess, customers and whatnot. It's pretty chill. Still no coffee or coffee? No coffee. Ugh. So for a terraforming mistake, New Babbage is a pretty useful... Oh, I thought she was going to walk through there. I was going to get excited to be able to see what's on the other side. Oh, she's looking at the palm. What's interesting is this may be one of the only places in the whole world, literally in the whole world of Microtech, that you can see some types of plants. So most of it's a freaking iceberg. But yeah, for a failed terraforming experiment, it's a pretty cool place. I feel like if this guy could keep his head up, you could do like some type of let's see if he does some type of chicken dance. No, you don't get chicken dance. If he keeps his head straight and look right at you and look like he's talking, you could do like one of those bank job type things. So here's the deal: we're gonna smash and grab. all this needed now, or maybe a Matrix scene. Put him in a suit with a pair of sunglasses, Mr. Anderson. Anyway, I'm getting silly. I think that's where I'm going to end this kind of playthrough. PTU is pretty cool. Please check it out if you haven't already. Waves 1 and 2 are available. And there is reconnect issues, like you just saw me do live. If you have an issue, be sure to just close the game completely and then reconnect. You don't have to close the launcher, just the game itself, which is, I know that's not the easiest thing to do, but it'll get you back running. Right now, the issue list is pretty big. The only one that makes me smile is the Demon Fang Combat Knife Asset is missing. Although I found one of them in a in a box, I think 2 patches ago, and I have the video too to prove it. Which I love everything about the Demon Fang Combat Knife. It's one of my favorite items. It just does not give a damn. 1 minute it's in, 1 minute it's out. But anyway, right now they have listed that. Now that I'm looking at the list properly again, I missed this the first read through. New Babbage train may stop and open doors at a void where players can run out and fall through geometry. And there's your answer to what they're calling the opening of that train that is supposedly just a void where players can run out and fall through geometry. I think it's them bringing back the center and the convention center here. And if it isn't, so be it, but it's an awful big hint that they're trying to start the process of opening the lobby of the convention center like every single other year they've done. Every single other year they've rolled out the convention centers. They've always had a lobby that's accessible eventually. And then the elevators are the only thing not functioning. So you can go in there and see the new shirts. You can see the logos. You can take some screenies and post with your friends and such. And then when the thing goes live, that most of the bugs are hopefully ironed out, and then you go into the showroom floor. So that's kind of where we're at. Maybe this year we'll also see again the PTU testing, where they'll actually let you get onto the show floor. Maybe. I'd like to see that open if they do it to the PTU, not Evo. I think it's something where if people want to experience early the content, so be it. You don't have to let the ships be flyable for the testing. Maybe we can just do one ship or something. But it would be cool to be able to participate in that testing and make it a bigger audience this time. I think CIG is very hesitant about going bigger than Evo out of fear people will talk about how buggy it is, but it's a beautiful buggy mess on the PTU. That's why people join the PTU. They want to be on the bleeding edge of testing. They want to get out there and see things going. So, anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Players are unable to select ground vehicles as a sell location on trade terminal kiosks. That I don't really think many people are doing that, but if that is your bag, if you're out at an outpost, unfortunately, you won't be able to use the sell from your Ursa rover, for example, for very small amounts of ore, or an ROC would probably be a better example. But unfortunately, that is not the case. You have to take it out of take it out of there, throw it in the bottom of your ship, and then sell it from your ship. Is this is the gist I'm understanding, if I'm reading this correctly. Weapon projectile trajectories are not behaving correctly. When you're shooting from inside a ship to outside, and heavy armor clipping, partially obscuring Moby Glass icons. It's been a long-term issue. And the Area 18 areas, cityscapes are clipping a lot. Those are some of the biggest issues that we're seeing. The new train thing is something to really keep an eye out for. Keep an eye on your inventory. Items from personal inventory are inaccessible from local inventory after dying and respawning in the same city. I have not seen that. The items I was wearing were, but to be fair, I was not testing the local, the personal inventory here. I didn't even put anything at all in this side. So if I put this hat inside my jacket pocket, which might not even fit, let's. Well, everything here is too big, even the pair of gloves. Yeah, this is easier said than done. So another learning process. I'm going to need to have a token item that is inside my inventory, maybe just a pile of them that I can throw in to be able to test inventory on my person from my local or ship inventory, because technically I did not test that. But on my first death, I lost my gear. On my second death, I did not lose my gear. But yes, I think inventory is working quite well, aside from that obvious issue. But the filter system is way better this way. Before, just last patch, it was like a drop-down menu that you had to choose from, and it was very kind of laggy. And when you clicked it, it kind of sat there, and then it finally rescinded. This seems to have a sorting feature that I really like. It has this filter system. I don't know what this custom is. This is the old system that was real laggy, but it looks like it's more responsive now. So that's cool. Then you can also clear that. Very cool. And yeah, I think this is this ain't a bad system. I'm sure it has its teething issues. As I pointed out before, this system needs a search. And also, this system they've confirmed will eventually have a search feature, because once you have more stuff, it's going to get really, really difficult to see what the heck's going on. The gray cat's on there from earlier when I had that issue where I had a crash. So that's an example of everything that's visible inside the system. It's stuff that I had accessible at some point. And yeah. So this is going to need a search, because when this system is like, when you go into Stanton and you have like piles of stuff all over the system at like 50 different locations, it's going to get difficult very fast, even if you have a categorization system. Because let's say you go into here, you click clothing, you click footwear even. If I open this, I'm not going to see much footwear for now. But eventually, we're going to see like piles of stuff. I mean, just piles of it. Also, I don't know why Grey Cat PTV is on footwear, but yeah. I like to see this. I like to see progress. I hope the search feature is eventually going to be up so you can type in at Lizen, for example, for the Bounty Hunter armor, or you can type in shotgun for for shotguns or Nerf guns or whatever. You can start putting those through much quicker and be able to figure out where you're trying to go. Volumetric clouds are changing. Okay, that's good. They changed the healing downstate system. Oh, and one of the reasons I'm walking around with random gear on without any worries is because they've disabled medical guns, tractor beams, etc. on this patch. So 2 patches ago, I couldn't even wear any of my concierge stuff or anything that stood out at all, out of fear I would get like these roving gangs of people that would like drug you and take your stuff. And then the only option back was like the NPCs would either kill them or other players would drug them to take it off of them. It presented some interesting situations, to say the least. We're not quite at the place now where the NPCs can handle those type of situations and really properly just put those people away. So in the future, I think it will be something that you can do. Right now, it is not the case. I've seen these paints before in here. I just think it's really cool to be able to come in and see the paints and remind people that, you know, it is expensive, but it's not the end of the world to get a nice paint job that you don't have to buy in the store. There is some pretty cool options. Nice little arrow, jet black arrow. I mean, they're not as nice. I mean, to be fair, like the ones in the store obviously are going to be fancy, but still it's cool. It's cool to have options. And tons of major bug fixes in this patch. I think they were focused on. I mean, they claim they fixed the bartenders. That's why I tested it. So the doors are glitched, or the server's dying, whichever one comes first. And they fixed some clients and server crashes. 3.14 set of PTUs, I pointed out that clients and server crashes should be celebrated. They should be different items, like listed. What exactly was fixed, so we can recognize the hard work of the server and engineering teams to really to really see progress. I really don't like when I get to the end of these PTU notes and see just fixed 6 client crashes, fixed 8 server crashes. Okay, but okay, what exactly was it? And even like it would be cool if like it listed the teams if possible. Okay, I'm crashing, of course. Let me save this. Okay, I did stop and save, and I reopened just as I crashed on the 30K, the second 30K of the recording, because I didn't want to lose all that work. So just bear with me. I'm going to try to go back in. With, I did not reopen the game. I did not do anything else. Literally, while it was still mid black screen loading back into the main menu, I clicked. And you can see that it's not allowing me to get back in. I think this is yet again the second time there was a bad token situation. So I did not get a recovery. Now, if I pick a different server location, which obviously would not allow for, you know, restoration or something of exactly where I was, but might have fixed an issue if it wasn't a bad token. There's my answer. I had a bad token. So, okay, that's kind of where I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to have the patch notes below in the links, and be sure to check out the cards here. And if you made it this far and you haven't already for whatever reason, and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I make this content all the time. It's greatly appreciated. All the goals of the channel are constant. The only thing I ask is people subscribe and give me feedback if you see something you like, if you don't like. Hey, I think if one person responds, there's probably 10 other people thinking it. I'm available on here, below in public, or you can hit me up on Discord, redj, #0001 on Discord. And as always, thanks again. And finally, I guess I don't say this enough, and I should start saying it. Thank you to those who have stayed the course with me since the early part of this channel, just a few months ago, and that have been long-term subscribers, have been giving me feedback, and have been appreciating my videos. I make this content for you folks. I've always said that I'm trying to make stuff for newcomers to the community, and also for returning members of the community. And you're always welcome. Remember that. Fly safe, everyone.